Okay, I'm starting to really get a little sloppy here and have some terrible positioning, so really got to pay attention to that. Constantly having to remind myself that, yes, I am indeed playing a hardcore character here. And if I'm not careful, we will die. So, Elder Matthias, please, stranger, take this talisman. I carried it away from my camp to prevent bandits from stealing it, but nature has passed judgment and I'm not long for this world. Matthias pauses to clear his throat of blood. I implore you, bring the talisman to Greven. He is at Rover Camp just south of, or excuse me, just east of Mountain Mine in Arkovian foothills. Tell him that I died protecting our relic. All right. So we have to do a little bit of backtracking. That's fine. As a matter of fact, kind of a turnabout here. I'm not really entirely certain what the hell keeps attacking us. I think it's like zombies or skeletons. They just... Revenants. Yeah, they're just kind of annoyingly popping out of the ground. Okay, so we need to head back in this direction. That's also the reason why I like to do fog busting in this game, is because there's always the opportunity to potentially meet some of the NPCs that are out here in the wilderness. And let us not forget that this is an action RPG loot fest. And old Magicide here has got his inner Gordon Gekko when it comes to these games, because, yes indeed, greed is good. I found the Elder, I'm sorry, sir. Great loss to our people. Elder Matthias did all he could to keep our talisman from bandit hands, and it seems he has given his life to preserve his duty. Tell me, did you find the talisman on him? Do we actually have the item itself? Bone talisman. I would prefer not to betray the rovers. I'd actually like to get them buddy-buddy. So we get 3,000 iron pieces, quite a bit of experience, and some more reputation points. At least his death was not in vain. Thank you. The return of this talisman will lift the spirits of my people. Hang on one second here. Like, I swear to God, it's just me. Like, the music is just blaring in my head, in my headset here. It just seems so much louder than everything else. All right, so we have really one direction we have to go in. All right, very well. Quite a bit of backtracking just to this, because this place is really narrow and snaky. Kind of reminds me of the description for fractal maps in Civilization 5. The whole bit about potentially spawning some snaky little pieces that connect continents together. Oh yeah, that's right, we gained a level. That's right, and we have a devotion point. I don't remember what I was planning on doing. I know I really wanted to pump more skill points into Shaman here so I can get my hands on Storm Totem. So we can convert all of this lightning damage into vitality damage. Right. So the Briarthorn has just Thorn Claws, and if we give him this other skill, he'll have Ground Slam. Generates additional threat. What does this other skill do? Emboldening presence. The Briarthorn is an imposing presence on the battlefield which emboldens its allies to fight with greater ferocity. Oh, forgot to put my my phone here on vibrate. Here we are. So it's an aura. Well, that's kind of like a no-brainer to me. I'm gonna give my Briarthorn Ground Slam. Just put the 1 skill point into it. I think we're gonna pump a whole bunch of skill points into Shaman here. Can you really just... Wait, am I like smoking crack here or something? So hang on a second. I know I've got a couple of skills here, or pieces of equipment that actually raise my skill. Oh, where the hell is it? Maybe it was my rings? Oh, hey, there we are. +1 to raise skeletons. +1 to raise skeletons. Okay, so... Well, it looks like we committed to the 1 point. What I'm wondering is can you just, like, straight up, like, dump skill points into a skill that's already been maxed out? Because I was always under the impression that you could only pump so many skill points into it until it maxes out, and then the only way to raise it above that number was the plus to skills gear. Maybe I just haven't maxed it out yet? Let's go back to town. I actually want to sell this shit. I'm going to de-equip my character here. I just want to take off the plus to skills gear, and then I want to see this for myself. We only have the 2 points remaining, so... But those 2 points might actually go to maxing that shit out. So let's just take it by one step at a time. Yeah, all the shields and everything, I'm just gonna sell all that stuff. Meh. I guess the question is do I really want the extra damages? I think I'll just go for that attack speed. That's fine. And then that belt sucks. Terrible. What is this, an offhand? Yeah, I'm not interested. Really trying to get my hands on an actual, like, 5-button gaming mouse. I had this really nice one from this company called eBlue. And they're one of those terrible companies out there that they come out with their mouse and then they kind of support it for, like, this short amount of time. And once that short amount of time is up, it's, like, impossible to get drivers for your mouse after that point.
Put it to good use.
And that's exactly the problem that I had. After I purchased all the components to build my current computer that I'm playing on, I was sitting there scouring the internet for the correct drivers for the gaming mouse that I was using before, but I just can't get it. I just cannot find the goddamn drivers. So with that being said, I had to go out and buy a new 5-button mouse. And I'm just not really enjoying it. It just doesn't feel so, like, fluid and smooth. It feels more like an office mouse than it does like a gaming mouse. And I'm getting so frustrated, I'm to the point now where I'm just going to say screw it and buy a wired mouse. But I'm not really entirely sure which one I want to buy, because a lot of the 5-button wired mouses out there are the gaming varieties. A lot of them are a little bit more than I think I'd want to spend on a mouse. So anyways, let's see here. Let's take off our jewelry. So do I still have plus to skills. That's right. I have an item here that gives me, I think, plus to excuse me, necromancer skills. No. +1 to raise skeletons. Okay. Okay, so I haven't maxed it out yet. Now I did. I was under the impression the entire time that I had maxed it out previously. But as it turns out, I didn't. That's fine. And then we can obviously sell that.
See anything you like? Iron well spent.
Because otherwise I was gonna start pumping it into shamans so I can start working on the totem and the associated skills. Oh, that's right, I had the devotion. Damn it, I forgot all about that. I think we were working on Empty Throne here. Aether resistance, chaos resistance, pierce resistance. Okay. So do I want aether resistance or chaos resistance now? I think I'm going to go for... Well, we already clicked on the chaos resistance. I think that's fair. That'll be fine. It did go through, correct? Yes. I think I remember like looking up an analysis video at some point for...
I can't do that yet.
I think necromancers. Or at least just pet builds in general, I think it was. And somebody made mention that that was a pretty good constellation if you're really looking for additional resistances, which I am. Well, we found our first town. Outside of Devil's Crossing, that is. Fantastic. Alright, let's go down here and have a few convos. Just a bunch of rovers. It's a very interesting sounding story. So before we start taking our quests, I'm just going to talk to the rest of these guys first. How can I get to Homestead from here? The road north has collapsed. A terrible conflict between the legionaries and the bandits ended in much needless bloodshed. I'm afraid the only way now would be to go through the mines controlled by Cronley's gang. It looks like the mines are northeast of here, known as Four Hills. Alright. Tell us about Old Arkovia, sir. So I want to say this, just in general, for me personally, when it comes to the canon, like the official canon and the lore of like any fantasy setting, I'm always more interested in the ruins and like the previous cultures and civilizations. There's just something about it that makes me more interested, more fascinated by the fantasy past than it is about the fantasy present, I guess. Not to say anything about the current setting or anything. I'm just like, this first paragraph here has got me more intrigued about the area and its lore than anything else. Like, I want more of that. I've always just been more fascinated with that. It was never conquered by foreign foes. Its death was far more sinister. Interesting. So I was just about to say that. That's always, I guess, implied when I say that I'm always interested in, like, the ruins and the previous stuff, the previous culture and history and everything. Is that, you know, you have all these, like, great monuments or these, like, crumbling structures from ancient times. You always wonder, well, what the hell happened? In the final years, decades after Rohan, the last king of Arkovia and the father of the Rowari, abdicated the throne, the great houses came to outright war over the vacant throne. Eventually, an oligarchy formed comprised of the most powerful remaining houses. Each was ever maneuvering and plotting against the others, all believing that if they could only seize power for themselves, they could usher in a new golden era for the city. Their machinations wrought only destruction and misery, hastening Arkovia to its ruin and driving them to turn to pursue the desperate measures that brought them ruin on a catastrophic scale. Its weight is still heavy upon this land. Well, my good sir, you mentioned necromancers played a part in the final fall, eh? It is said that one of the necromancers imprisoned in the tower never aged, even after decades of imprisonment, and they found out that he could not be killed by any means within their power. He's known by the name Uroborok, and his seeming immortality turned against him in the torturer's table. In the end, though, he had his own vengeance. This is quite the tale here. If you've seen this before, or if you've read this before, tough shit. I haven't. I want to read it. Don't complain. So apparently, after the necromancer's ritual was performed, it's disfigured and mutilated the children that were born afterwards. So it looks like the Broken Hills are named pretty aptly. That was a very interesting filibuster. And I say filibuster because, hey, that was a lot of dialogue to say, to kind of keep us hanging there. See, a rogue troll that's rampaging around these parts, and they want me to slay it. I think I can do that. Golgoth, the rampaging, was last seen and not far from the camp, just up the road. All right, so there's one quest.
Keep your weapons where I can see them.
Cronley's gang was well armed and experienced. We are not. This is not a battle that we're going to win by running in there head on. We need to cripple them. This is where you come in. The outlaws have a series of forges similar in making to the one behind me scattered throughout the 4 hills. If you destroy them, Darius's men won't be able to rearm themselves. I understand that this may not be your problem, but I am willing to make it your problem. For some iron, they're going to pay us. We have a deal, sir.
I'll give you a good price on what I've got left.
So even though we only have so much reputation with these guys, and not enough to actually start acquiring their oils and whatnot, we can still sell to them, which is pretty handy dandy indeed. And at some point, I think we should probably get better. I'm not sure if the potions in this game just scale,
But it's a good use.
or if we start getting just higher tiered ones like you had in, like, say, Diablo 2. All right, let's rotate the map first of all. Looks like that star right over there is going to be the troll. So instead of engaging the troll right now, I think we're going to clear out the monsters that are kind of around it so I can give this thing a wide berth. Oh yes, it's a Crunley's gang. I'm standing there right in the fire like a goddamn dunce. So we have another entrance to the different portion of the mine. All right, so let's get the troll. And get the hell out of there. And maybe get a couple more skeletons. There we are. That thing went down pretty easily. I'm actually genuinely surprised that I took that thing out. I thought it was going to be a harder fight than what it was led on. We did pick up a couple of pieces of gear here. Plus 3% health. I'd rather have the attack speed. +1 to raise skeletons. Do I want the +1 to grasping vines, or do I want the +1 to raise skeletons? That's kind of a toughie. I'm not sure. And only because I'm just so close to the camp here, we're gonna go back and talk to the man. So since we completed the one quest, or maybe it's because I have so much reputation with them now. Actually, let's take a look. Rovers, we're now friendly. So that means we're going to have access to additional quests here. That's why Ava is giving us some new conversation here. You'll have to forgive me, but I must tend to the wounded. You have quite a few men injured, ma'am. Yes, the battle with Cronley's brutes has proven taxing on our people. I'm afraid some of them won't make it through the night. Is there anything I can do to help? Oh, why yes, there is. We are too few to leave this camp undefended, but you could seek out the wasp hive around Old Arkovia. There are 2 large ones that I know of, one south of here near the rocky coast and another north near Twin Falls. I'm pretty sure we've already taken care of the one. If you bring me some royal jelly, I could create an old rover remedy known to vastly accelerate healing. Why, if you do this for us, I'll happily show you how it's made. It'd be the least we could do. So we got some royal jelly right here. We have to give her 3 royal jellies. And I know I put some in my stash. So I'll tell you what, why don't we just go back to town. Just go to my stash really fast. I mean, yes, I could go into the whole beehive and collect some more. But if we have a quest line that's already requiring us to have them, I might as well have the ones that I do have on hand. Although I will say, I'm pretty sure that the recipe that she's going to show us is probably going to require royal jelly. We have so many of them. I'm going to sell that. And this one is just a bonus to... Yeah, I'm going to sell that. Just not good enough. I don't know what I should do about that. Yeah. I'm just torn.
I'll keep an eye on this.
Let's see what I can do here.
Come see what's left of my wares.
Okay, those are gonna get sold. We're gonna sell those. Right. So Stoneheart oil. Shield block.
See you around.
Don't think I have really any use for either of those. Especially the blocking one. Made some pretty good progress in Act 2 thus far. So we got a rover bounty table. Can we actually use it now that we're friendly with these guys? Dude, what the fuck? The rovers do not yet trust you with their internal affairs. A respected reputation is required to access the bounty table. Okay. You know, every time I hear that, like, wom sound in the background, it reminds me of this really great intermix track called Soviet Low. It's one of those good tracks you want to listen to when you're really depressed. One of those types of tracks. Why, yes, I do. I do have some royal jelly indeed. So she gives us royal jelly balm. I'm guessing that's probably the next tier of healing potions. And then she gives us the recipe. You have no idea how helpful this will be. Please take some of the for the road ahead. You never know when you'll need it. Please let me show you how to make some yourself. It is at least we could do for saving so many lives. Indeed. I thought I saw somebody else around here with a question mark above their head. Like as in they had another quest for me. Alright, well, let's go investigate this other wasp hive over here. As a matter of fact, the one recipe, yes, it does indeed require royal jelly. And corpse dust. So plus 5 health regenerated per second for a pretty long time. Not sure I have really any use for it. That seems like it'd be something really good if you're playing like a tank or a melee DPS type of character. I definitely want to rotate the camera a little bit because there are going to be... If there are going to be secrets, they'll probably be along one of the walls. Yeah, sure, I guess we'll just continue going this way. So I can actually shoot them. That's good to know. God, it's just so easy. Very nice. We get some more dynamite. Wait, did you just hear that? There was like a voice. Can you guys hear the voices? Hold up. Dialogue volume. Yeah, let's increase that a little bit. Let's hope that it isn't just purely conversation dialogue, because I heard like some voices there that kind of sounded like a little too high in pitch. Like I was about to fight a bunch of children. Or like the chipmunks. Well, I'm definitely not dealing with wasps here. So I'm gonna guess that maybe there's gonna be one of the forges here. Let's take a look at the map. Okay. So before we go into the actual mine, really want to get the rest of this place covered. Still having no trouble with these enemies here. Even with as easy as it is, I'm still not throwing caution completely to the wind. Doesn't look like we're going to have any upgrades here. The armor's garbage. I think it would look pretty dead sexy if I was able to equip that scythe. Just have absolutely no reason to. Yeah, you notice how I really barely participated in that fight. I don't have any reason to. Just let my little homeboys over here take care of it. Why do I have to have my hands get dirty? Why? I'm just kind of curious if I end up going into that mine entrance. If that's just exactly where I'm supposed to go within this act, or if it's just the next stage of this dungeon here. I think it's supposed to be female voices. These people that I just killed, I think they were females. I think that's what the voices were supposed to be. But man, it sounded really weird. Like almost deliberately weird. Like it was a person that just put up a helium balloon up to their lips and consumed all of it. So we just picked up a couple of interesting sounding items here. I think I'm going to keep the gloves that I have, or the bracers. Well, I think I'm not going to do that. We got a better helmet here. Sure. So this thing gives me what? Physique, all right. So why don't we do this? We'll equip the new helmet, and what do we need? We need more spirit. Really hate to do this. We have quite a bit of, whatchamacallit, attribute points here. I just really hate spending them. I feel like we get so many attribute points just from pumping up into our main skills, meaning to say our skill bar here, that we get so many points from that. I just don't understand where the need to actually pump the additional skill points. I mean, other than like what I just did, it just pump a couple of points in there just to equip something, to finish equipping something. All right, let's find out what this is actually going to contain. It's going to poop us out in some other location. Whatever. What's funny about it is in the mini-map, it said mine exit. But if you hovered over it with your mouse, it said mine entrance. We also have a treasure box way over there. I can't tell if this place is just like its own little like triangular area or if it's actually connected to the greater map. Guess we'll find out here in a moment. You want to know something? I think I'm going to take a quick break here. Been kind of at it now for, what, about an hour and 15 minutes or so. It's about that time. My ass is starting to get a little sore. I want to get up and stretch them legs. So I'll be back in a few, and then we'll continue to make a little bit more progress. I think, obviously, we'll take care of our inventory, and then, I don't know, look for the bee's nest or the hive or whatever else, and some of the bandit forges or whatnot. So we'll be back in just a moment.